It's Monday morning, April 15th, 9:13 a.m. Welcome back to the Sugar Screen Podcast. Hi, my name is Nikki.
Hi, I'm Coco.
We just got coffee. We're leaving Coachella. How would you rate your weekend on a scale of 1 to 10?
A 10,000.
Really?
It was honestly the best Coachella I've ever been to, and I've been to multiple.
This is my first, but I had an incredible time. It was so much fun. The vibes were immaculate. Also, just as somebody who's never been to a music festival before, I really think that was the most magical part about it. Was just being surrounded by a bunch of
There's something so magical about
yeah, you're just a bunch of people who are all there for the exact same purpose.
Yeah.
And it's no shame, you're all just drunk and doing nothing, and you know what I mean?
This was also our first year, I guess your first year, but my first year in general, getting invited to industry events. And that was a really cool aspect of this that I never thought that I would experience or even honestly existed. And so for example, we went to a White Claw party on Thursday, and we saw Charlie XCX perform. That was so freaking cool. So there were moments like that I also this was not my first Coachella, but it was my first Coachella as a creator, and that was also a really exciting experience that I had not had before.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And it was great to see friends and stuff.
Yeah.
And it gave us something to do.
Yeah, it gave us...
when there's not music that you want to see, which is nice.
Yeah. The only downside was because we were going to events, we couldn't always use our shuttle pass to get home, and that was just another crazy situation, was trying to get home at the end of the first night. But I think we got smarter as each day went on, and that was really helpful.
Yeah, and it got easier.
Yeah.
But who's your favorite performance?
Oh, Chapel Roan.
I was gonna say Chapel too.
Because so obviously I love Lana, obviously. But there's something special about witnessing someone who's about to break mainstream.
Yeah.
And that was the feeling of her.
I thought that too, that reason. Number two, I also like that it was it felt like a smaller group, but everybody who was there.
Die hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was a more intimate but quality audience.
Yes.
I feel like everybody there genuinely knew all of the songs. Or
yes.
most of them. And when you go to a larger artist, when people are just there because they're the headliners.
Yeah,
you know?
Which that's kind of how we were in the crowd last night for Doja, and I don't think it's a Doja problem. I think that Coachella's actual physical space was so spread out this year. So I saw Doja a couple years ago, and in 2022 I think, and her crowd went so far back, but then she was the headliner this year, and her crowd honestly wasn't that big, and I don't think it was a Doja problem. I'm sure Lana's was the same. We were just so close we didn't notice. But it was that feeling too where people in the crowd for Doja maybe didn't know all the lyrics, but it's when they're a headliner, you just kind of want to be there.
I mean, I'll say it, I think Doja had the best performance.
Yeah, she had.
I was when she was on stage, the choreography.
Hair. There was this one scene where they all had this long hair, and then she shaves it off, and then this one guy, this is also what I love about Coachella, you could be in line for something and you meet people. This one guy that we met was Doja Cat, her performance was choreographed by, I think her name's Paris Burlek, and she's the woman who does all the famous choreography. She did Rihanna's Super Bowl performance, so you could definitely tell, I think out of all the performances that we saw, Doja Cat's was the most thought out in terms of dancing and stuff.
It was it was a performance. It was polished.
Yeah.
It felt an hour-long music video.
Oh my god, that's a really good way to put it, actually.
And I was shocked, honestly. I was excited to see Doja, but she wasn't a top 5 for me.
Yeah.
So, that was cool. I think Chapel was also my favorite. I thought Lana was incredible.
Yeah.
And, going back to what you said earlier too, I really think that the most exciting ones generally are people who haven't done stuff like this before.
Yeah.
I was really excited to see Chapel and Sabrina and Renee, and people were I was oh, this is a big moment for them. This is their first ever performance of this scale.
Yes.
This size.
Yeah. I was gonna say, one of my only complaints is they put Ray on so early in the day. Like, I felt like she was bigger than 4 p.m. And so we didn't get to see her because we had to go to this industry thing. And that's, like, one of my biggest regrets of Coachella is, like, that, like, not going to see Ray. We physically couldn't because of our schedule. But also not going to see Thames because she brought out Justin Bieber. And I love Thames.
Oh, really?
And we were like, yesterday was for exploring, but yeah, Thames brought out Justin Bieber.
That's crazy.
I think Justin Bieber's gonna headline and have like a comeback tour.
Oh,
soon.
he could so easily headline. He would actually be such a great headliner.
He could
because he has like the catalog for it,
yeah,
but also
Eras tour.
it would be like
yeah,
cool, interesting.
And my boyfriend was like, one of the only people I'd go to Coachella for is Justin Bieber, so which is so funny.
Yeah.
And then also I loved, Renee Rapp. I didn't know this until I thought there was just like a weird thing on stage that was like silver. And then someone posted a TikTok that like the stage people couldn't figure out how to set up the scissors that were behind her, which that would have been so freaking iconic.
Well, what's great, what I'm even shocked about is I think that they had set it up earlier this week. I think it like broke.
Oh shit. I would love to know what happened there.
Because, I don't know, we can ask our friend. Because one of them was telling us how, I think they showed me a picture or something. Or maybe they had just said it. That they were going to do scissors on stage.
That would have been
And I was like, well, they
so
have to probably like test these things and like build them.
And it would make sense because her, our friend who works for Renee Rapp, all of like that team was wearing these shirts that said like Renee Chella made me gay, and then on the back there were scissors, and it would have made sense for the performance if they were able to set up the scissors. But like, stage connection aside, Renee Rapp is the like, again, I'm sure Ray was as well, we should see her, but Renee Rapp's voice is like what makes her so unique from everyone else to me. Like, obviously they're all good singers, but you could tell Renee is like Broadway trained, and very rarely do we get a Broadway trained singer on these like pop tracks.
Yeah.
And she brought out Toa Bird, and I guess Kesha. We didn't see Kesha because we got there late because we were stuck in security, but she brought out Toa Bird, which was really cool. So that was like a highlight for me as well. And who else? I feel like Saturday's a fever dream. Oh, we saw Ice Spice. Her crowd was so intense. I think in hindsight what happened, I knew Ice Spice's crowd was going to be big, but when we went to see her, there was like a moment when she was performing where it almost felt like a crowd surge, and that was the only time I felt uncomfortably like crowded this year at Coachella. And come to find out that Taylor Swift was in Ice Spice's crowd, so I think people ran to show up when they found out Taylor Swift was there.
Yeah.
Also, almost forgot, it was such a good, Saturday was my favorite day, so it's like a fever dream. We were at a party, and Billie Eilish's PR team works with Nicki a lot, and they were like, guys, go to the Do Lab at like 7:30, like you didn't hear it from us. And we were like, what? Billie Eilish did a surprise like DJ set, like Boiler Room, and
it was so
good. That was the best moment of the
I think that was the
night.
best night of the entire weekend.
I know.
It was literally just like she only sang 2 or 3 songs, and honestly, like you could even like the singing wasn't even the highlight. It was just like her on a DJ, like just making a playlist, and it just the vibes were
like a Boiler Room, like a Boiler Room,
just playing great music.
It was
just throwing ass, like
and
it was so good.
You truly didn't experience Coachella unless you like spent time in the Do Lab, and it was so funny because we knew to be there, so we were like waiting out at the Do Lab, and you could tell the moment that Coachella sent out like the push notification that Billie Eilish was doing a surprise set at the Do Lab, because you just saw people sprinting out of nowhere, like hordes of people. I was like, oh, and me and Nikki had gotten separated, and I was like, oh my god, I don't know if I'm gonna find Nikki.
I know, thank God. I forgot to tell you, after this, when you left, I ran into some random guy, some guy I went on a date with.
Oh my god.
So then we were just sitting and chatting, and they like
this Coachella was like all of Nikki's.
I kid you not.
He's like, oh, I saw him. I saw him like
single person I have been on a date with in the past 6 months, I saw this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm not, and I wish I was exaggerating with that statistic. I'm not. I saw any ex-boyfriend I had that's lived in California.
Yeah.
Also saw this weekend.
Yeah.
Which does make me realize maybe I have a type. Maybe it's just gay men who like want to.
Yeah, exactly.
What were we talking about?
Oh, we got separated. And we were waiting. Like, I was afraid I wasn't going to find you because your phone service was so bad.
Oh.
And, like, that's a whole video that I think Nikki needs to make when he's ready. When you're, like, ready to talk about it.
I recently switched to AT&T from Verizon. The entire time I was there, not just in the venue itself, in pretty much the entirety of Palm Springs, I had no cell service at all. Like, could not get a text message, could not get on Instagram, could not call an Uber, nothing. Which is not normally that big of a deal. However, for something like this,
it's like a safety thing to not be able to call an Uber or like find your friends. It's scary.
Like if we got or there was 1 or 2 times where we got lost, and I was like, oh, I have to walk around until I find somebody that I know.
And it doesn't help that Nikki looks like every other man that like is at like our friends. We were waiting in the Do Lab looking for Nikki, and we're like, oh, no, and we're like, oh fuck, we can't find him. But it's truly a safety hazard. And Nikki has like a screen recording on his phone where he was like refreshing his feed and then like my feed, and his was not loading. Like it was just like a black screen with like a thing. Even in the Airbnb with like connected to Wi-Fi, I feel like your phone was still struggling.
No, it was still struggling. And also like genuinely, I think, not that I'm like, again, like I'm not like going there to be on my phone.
Yeah.
But it did like impact the experience.
You needed to
not
like
be able
get
to
around.
contact my friends or record anything when I like any of that.
Yeah.
Like was annoying.
Scary.
So all in all, AT&T lost a customer this weekend.
Yeah, and like we're like Nikki and I are both sometimes afraid to like tell like I don't know, like to ever like talk about something negatively, but I also am trying to get comfortable with being like, hey, like this was the truth of the experience. And so that was just one thing to like note. But yeah, Dulab was so good. Oh, you said that you ran into a guy and you were like, oh, I didn't tell you yet, but I ran into a guy when I was waiting for you at Dulab or something.
Yeah, somebody who I went on a date with.
Oh, you went, that's the
Any person I've been on a date with in the past 6 months I ran into.
No, yeah, it was crazy. Also Saturday was really cool because we got invited to this thing called Neon Carnival, which is this like party that I didn't even realize, but people that are not even attending Coachella this year, usually what happens is like if you're going to parties and like events at Coachella, you'll get a house for the weekend. There were people who drove up like 3 hours from LA in traffic just to go to this party that got invited. And we left early because like I also want like to know how the hell some of these people stay up until like 6 a.m. at parties. And yeah, people say like, you know, drugs. I think it has to be more than that, because how the fuck? Like, I was so fucking tired by like midnight and people are just getting started. So that was honestly fascinating to me, was seeing like how the partying was like 24/7 almost.
I know. But, I mean, I guess it's just like what you prioritize in your experience.
Yeah, and I guess if they start their day later. Yeah, we wanted to.
Because maybe they're sleeping until 2 p.m., but we're already at the venue by 2 p.m.
Yeah.
The following day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
And another thing I want to talk about is, I made a TikTok about this, but so every single year I do GA, and this year I was like, you know what, like, I want to do like VIP, like, honestly, like, I wanted to pay for the convenience of like, what I believed was VIP was nicer bathrooms. You have a different VIP entrance because it can take up to an hour getting into the venue some days because of security. You have like better food, and I thought that like parts of the stage were for VIP because that's how it is at other festivals. I didn't realize that was only artist pass, and so we spent like so much more money on VIP tickets, and we honestly didn't even really use it, and I feel so bad. But like now we know that to just do GA, and also like GA also, okay, for context, I thought VIP had nicer bathrooms, and to me that was worth the price. It was porta potties, and there's supposed to be like nicer food, one of the like only places I wanted to go for food in the VIP area didn't even have any of the food left. And I'm like, what did I pay for? Like, what did I pay for? So anyways, that was something to know.
What did I pay for?
No, literally. The only thing that made mine worth it was that we ran into Lala, Kent, and Sheena Shea from Vanderpump Rules. And like I tell everyone, I'm like, the Vanderpump Rules cast, like that's my Met Gala. So that made it worth it. But still, if you guys are going to Coachella and you're considering VIP, just know that you don't really have to do it. And I think also in last like years that I had gone, it was way more crowded and like there was a lot more like heat exhaustion and stuff. But this year, at no point, except for maybe at Ice Spice, at no point did I ever feel crowded or like I had to leave to like go to a more secluded area.
Yeah.
So that was nice. But yeah, what else is anything you have to say too? I have a few more thoughts, but
no, I agree with you. I don't think VIP was like worth what we paid for it.
Yeah.
But having never been before, I am happy we did it.
Yeah,
it was nice to like if I was gonna go to something for the first time, I like being able to like I can see all of this.
Yeah.
Like there's not gonna be a part that I like can't walk inside because I don't have a wristband. So it was cool to be like, okay, I got it all. I got that experience, and like next year I don't have to do it again.
Yeah.
You know?
Now we know. Now that's so true. Like now we don't have like FOMO if we don't do it.
Right.
I also thought it was so cool. We did go into like the VIP area on Friday night, and we were just talking there. We're friends with the people from Pop Crave. If you guys are watching this, I love you guys. Hi, you guys. And so the guy who runs Pop Crave, like I would say his name, but he's like more private. So anyways, I'm just not going to say his name. Not that I'm not being rude. But anyways, because of like what he does, he has like the best like ability to just recognize faces in a crowd. To be like, oh, that's this person, that's this person. And like I was standing talking to him in VIP and he's like, oh, there's Maddie Healy. Like there's like fucking like everyone was like just walking by us, like Bretman Rock, like Maddie Healy. Like it was cool to see like all of these people that you see online. And I don't even really like fangirl over celebrities. The only celebrity that I really will like truly fangirl over, again, Vanderpump Rules. That's it. That's all. But yeah, it was really cool to like just see all of that. The way I describe Coachella is like, you know when you go to Disneyland and like there's like Mickey Mouse is there, and it's like you might not be like a little kid who's gonna like stand in line and like get a photo, but it's just cool to be like, oh, there's Mickey Mouse, like how cool, like you know, that's kind of how it felt. And then also
is that like a tornado brewing?
No, it literally looks like there's a tornado brewing, you guys.
Am I crazy?
No, I thought that on the other side of the mountain. They might be able to see it when it's behind us.
It's like a cloud swirling.
No, literally, and it's like coming down lower. I've never seen that.
I'm also gonna say this weekend, like, truly never in my life have I seen a more highly condensed, like, population of just hot people.
Oh my god, except for when I attended San Diego State. Like, that was, like, maybe the exception.
This was crazier even
No,
than
it was, like, actually, there was, like, something in the water, and I was drinking all the water. I couldn't, like, please.
I even had other random people telling me, they're like, I've ever noticed that everybody here is just, like, unreal hot this weekend.
No, we were hanging out, like, with Trevi and Miranda. It was so funny. The three of us were saying that, like, we were at an industry event, and, like, we were like, we're not trying to be rude by like not making eye contact and convo. It was just like, oh my god, like scanning the room, just like, oh my god, oh my god.
No, literally.
It was actually crazy. I would love to know like what it is. I think also it's just like when you're in the sun, like anyone looks better. Like,
and everybody's here to serve cunt.
Yeah, to serve, yes, and that they did. Also something I wanted to talk about was, so Nikki and I, we went to this like Interscope party, and I was so excited because, so Toa Bird and Renee Rapp were there, and I've never, like, met Renee Rapp, but I was so okay with the fact that, like, she could be, like, her Regina George character, and, like, that's, like, why I would love her, and so I was like, okay, she could, like, cuss me out, and I'd be like, you know, Regina George punched me in the face once, and it was awesome. And so we're at this party, and like Renee's there and like moving around, and I'm like, okay, like I'm not gonna like bombard her, you know, like I like to just give people space. But because I had interviewed Toa Bird before, I like felt comfortable saying hi. So I was talking to Toa Bird. So then we kind of just happened to be in like this area where like they were. And then And then so we're like, okay, we have to head out. We have to get to the venue. And we turn around to leave. And like, I just happened to be in eye line of Renee Rapp. And I just was like, hi, like, I just wanted to say, like, I'm Coco. And, you know, I made a video on you, like, over a year ago about how I felt like you were about to break mainstream. Like, obviously you did Broadway and stuff. And Sex Life of College Girls, that's where I found you. But like, I made a video about how I felt like you're about to break mainstream, and I knew that you had really started to do it because like out of nowhere I just started getting so many comments on that video, and it just like spiked in views out of nowhere, and they were like, you were right, and I'm like, oh, Renee's blowing up right now. And she was really flattered by that. But I was mentioning the preface that I thought like I'd be okay with her being mean. I would say one of the nicest celebrities I've ever met. But also, I think she's a Gemini moon and I'm a Gemini moon, so I think like you just like bond with those people. But very nice. And also randomly, I never pay attention to people's like physical like features. Like, I don't know, I just am like, I can tell when someone's like hot or attractive, but I'm not like thinking about their features. Renee Rapp had like beautiful white teeth in a way that I had never noticed on another human being. Like, I was like,
I've always thought she had really like hot teeth.
Yeah.
I also think teeth are like an underrated feature that can like really make somebody hot.
And that's why I think it's so uncanny valley when all these people get like veneers, because it takes away their like I think you're right. I love people's teeth. Like, I think it's so cute. I love imperfect teeth as well.
Oh my god, yes, there's this one guy I follow on Instagram who's like, I think he's like a model professionally, but he has this like really like kind of like big tooth gap.
Aww,
and I think that's like why he's made it as a professional model, because it's like a one really distinguishable flaw. But I think it makes his face look so cute. Like it's like almost like it makes it look like real. Like like oh, like you're just a person.
Yes, yeah. I never felt like I like could tell, like, so my teeth like go inwards like right here, like they kind of go like diagonal, and you can see it especially like if you're talking to me in person. But I never felt like I like knew what my teeth looked like to other people until the actress Ayo started blowing up, who's like in The Bear. And I was like, oh my god, like she has like a similar like teeth to me, and I don't know, so that just, I was like, and then I also want to talk about, if you have anything else about Coachella, but also like people that we, especially now that you've been to Coachella and you can kind of tell the vibe, do you get now why I'm like, oh, that person's going to be on Sahara 10? Like, it's just the hype 10.
Yeah.
So like, who can you see performing at future Coachellas?
Tristan.
Dude, why wasn't he had a fucking phenomenal run last year.
He should have been. Are you kidding me?
He had such a good run.
I'm like actually genuinely shocked he wasn't.
Yeah.
Troye Sivan for sure. Future headliners maybe. I still would love it if SZA did it.
SZA.
She's like one of the few I think of like that size.
Yeah.
Who could do it still.
Especially with her last, because usually if you only have like one album, it's like you like, I feel like a Coachella performance is like you're kind of going through your eras. Like you're like, you want to.
But Billie did it with 2 albums.
Yeah,
and
that's
SZA
true.
only has 2 albums and she's been doing it for longer. But also SZA has released a lot more singles.
Yeah,
so I think it's
true.
Like she has more years.
SZA does a lot of features too,
but,
so she already has a whole other.
She's another one of those artists that talks about how they don't like to perform.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, and not everyone's like meant to be a performer, and that's okay.
I know, but I mean, SZA, I think
Justin Bieber
for sure is
100%.
I think Justin Bieber just won't do it until he releases music again.
Yeah.
Because he's been like really quiet, but I feel like he would do an album and then do it.
And he performed at times. He performed with Daniel Caesar like 2 years ago too. But I kind of feel like he's like getting like back into that like zone. And so Justin Bieber would be cool.
I think Olivia will do it eventually too.
I think so too, especially because her coming out with No Doubt, how did we forget to talk about that? But her coming out with No Doubt was probably like one of the other like highlights of the weekend, and also one of the most talked about moments.
I know, it's really unexpected.
Yeah, it was so, and they even did like an unexpected song.
I mean, so was Billie Alana. Honestly, low-key. It was Billie Cello. Like,
it was.
Billie was kind of the really secret headliner.
She was. Billie coming out with Lana, we heard so many people like just being even online like, oh, Billie was at Lana's soundcheck, and I'm like, there's no fucking way. Like, I was like, I'm not gonna get my hopes up. Like, don't tell me. I know,
I'm like, that's just a rumor. Like, you can't.
It's just a rumor. But like, then it actually. So the way it happened is like, I'm sure if you guys actually next weekend, I kind of want to like watch the live streams at home just to see, like, because when you're at Coachella, you're like in the moment and loving it, but the audience at home has a way better view. Yeah. Like, they're like on the live stream, you just see it better. So I want to watch it like next week. Obviously Billy's not going to come out again, but it would be really cool to see like one who Lana brings out. But I say that to say that, like, when Billy did come out, John Batiste was finishing his performance, and then as he's walking off stage, he goes, like, you can't even see him, but the mic is still on. He just goes, Miss Billy. And I'm like, that must have been like a mistake. Like, he was like talking to someone backstage, and the spotlight pans from where he was up to the top, and it's Billy sitting there. And I'm like, no fucking way. Like, what the f-? So that was so cool. Dude, this Coachella was proof to me, like, and after this, I've said my piece. This Coachella was proof to me, don't listen to the fucking internet, dude. So many people online were like, Coachella's fucking dead. This year, Coachella said, bitch, who is dead? We are going to put on the performance of a fucking lifetime. And that they did. And now I saw so many people online being like, wait, guys, I thought we weren't going to Coachella. Now I have FOMO. I'm like, that's why you just make up your own decisions. Don't listen to, like, the internet telling you something isn't cool. If you want to go, who cares if it's the uncoolest thing in the world? Do it. Go. Have fun. Like, that's how I felt about this year. Like, I was like, I don't care that people are saying it's overrated. I'm not going because I care about how it's being rated. I care because, like, I'm sure you know now, like, it's like you just bond with the people you're with. It's like you're going to be forever bonded to the people you go to Coachella.
Oh, no,
with.
yeah, absolutely. I also think it's just flawed logic to be like, well, just because I don't think this is going to be my favorite version of blank, therefore I shouldn't attempt it. It's like, you can still like it. Like, you can like you can like other headline or other lineups better and still have fun at this one.
Still have fun.
They're not like mutually exclusive events. You know what I mean? Exactly.
And like, I did notice this year too. It was like so many less people like had their phones out and stuff. Like, it just felt very. I don't know. I think people are really like, the way I described it on one of my TikToks was like, I think for so long, social media platforms benefited from like, kind of like, I guess like what I would use the word is like digital FOMO, where essentially it's like you could be somewhere, you could be like the heart of a party, a heart of an event, but if you don't post a photo that you were there, then it like didn't happen. And I think people really felt that for so long. However, this year, I think that like people just felt like in the moment. Like, I don't know, it was just, our friend described it as introverted Coachella. Like, the crowds were more calm, and I actually hate the sentiment that like, oh, like people online are like, this crowd is fucking dead. I'm like, you can be respectful, and like, just because I'm not like mosh pitting and like cartwheeling into the splits in the middle of this like dance floor doesn't mean that I'm not enjoying the music. If anything, it's more respectful that people are like quiet and like paying attention. Like, I don't want to be next to someone like yelling, you know, over the artist. Like, just because the crowd was like quiet this year doesn't mean that they weren't enjoying it. If anything, I think it means that they were more into it, that they were like not being performative as a crowd, but rather like we're there to like watch the people. And I really felt like everyone this year just felt a lot more respectful. I also think a huge part of it that no one else is, people are honking. One thing that no one else I have heard brought up, and why I think that this year was more calm, the weather. Like, other years that I've gone, people truly get like irritable in the heat. It's why like crime goes up in summer. Yeah. People get irritable. It's like you get heat exhaustion, more people pass out in crowds. But like this year, it was just like, I felt like everyone was more respectful. Yeah.
Honestly, the weather was incredible.
The weather was so incredible. It was the best weather that I've ever like had at Coachella. So those are my thoughts. And I'll let Nikki ramble now if he has any more.
Closing arguments. I, as a first timer, loved it. Happy to go back. Am already sad, depressed.
Yeah.
Thinking about not being there anymore. Best part about it was honestly just the energy, the atmosphere, the vibes. Like,
being around people who
just
are
being around people who were excited to be doing the same thing. My favorite person I saw was Chapel Roan. My favorite party we went to was the Interscope party.
I was gonna say that too, and it was the one that was at like noon in the middle of the day, and it was the best.
Yeah, and it was cool. And it was also, I think, like, exciting to be around those people because this is, like, months in the making for them.
Yeah, it's a big week for them because it's like they work hard to like,
been, like,
help these artists tell their
like,
stories online.
Like preparing the set list and like, practicing this. So
I agree.
That was really cool. And I don't know. I think
it was just so good. It was our like rooming situation was great with like the people that we went with. It was just like a great vibe overall, and like if it's a good lineup again, I will 100% go again. And also my last thing to say is I think like for the first time, like Nikki and I got recognized by so many of you, like so often.
Oh my god, it was so fun.
It like truly means so much to me when you guys come up to us because this is such a lonely job, and like sometimes you just think that you're like talking to a void, and seeing that it's like there's actually people on the other side of those numbers, and it's not just like sometimes it feels like a video game. Like I'm like, is this all fake? But then it's like people also, what I love is like people come up to us and they tell us like how our content helped them, or like the content they do, and like I don't know, it just means a lot to me that like I think that Nikki and I are able to make you guys feel like or like aspire to be the best version of yourself online. And I think it's really sacred that we kind of are a part of like that aspect of your life. And so we just love like saying hi to you guys, taking selfies, whatever it is. Like I will never not like stop what I'm doing to just like say hi.
I know.
So thank you.
And I was just saying earlier, I was like, I think like what other people don't realize, like it's more exciting for me to meet you.
Yeah.
Like,
no, they're
you
like,
think
okay,
you're excited. I'm like, thank God you're a real person.
Yes.
It's like weird to like see like, you know, and to have somebody like come up to you and like reference a specific piece of information that you said like 4 months ago.
Crazy.
I'm like, oh whoa, like there's actually real living, breathing people that listen to this.
Yes. And one of my favorite too is like now that this podcast is starting to take off, it kind of happened accidentally, like even having inside jokes with you guys. Like there was one girl who came up to us at this Amazon event, and I forgot that we had even posted about how a few episodes ago it was the Tate McRae episode. Yeah. We addressed how like there was this account on YouTube, their name was Jordan, and they were just like going crazy in our comments that they were going to make sure we had the worst time ever at Coachella, and they were going to find us like hell and high water. And it was so funny because I met this girl and she goes, are you afraid about like Jordan at Coachella? And I'm like, oh my god, the fact that you even know that is so crazy. So that's really cool. But
and Jordan, if you're here, how was your Coachella?
I know, I hope we made amends with you. Like we had a good time, and I hope you had a good time, Jordan. I'm sure he had bigger fish to fry with like literally, you know, all that was going on. So thank you guys so much for watching. And Lana Del Rey part 2 is going to be going up ASAP. I just need to like get home and edit it. But this is a kind of low lift episode, so we're just going to post this as soon as we get home today. Bye guys. Love you.
Bye.